I think that people who actually grew up broke, and not just feeling broke, but broke, don't usually make it like such a big part of their personality and brand when they're not as broke anymore.
Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today we're going to react to financial TikTok device. I'm curious to know what this video is about. Let's get to the video.
Spending $28 for lunch. I mean, that's just stupid. It's just, think about that in the context of that being put into an index and making 8 to 10% a year for the next 50 years. The best test I do with my kids' friends too, go into a closet, go into your closet and look at how much shit you have you don't wear. Because you either bought it because you thought you were going to wear it and never wore it or wore it once, and you end up wearing 20% of your portfolio all of the time and 80% you pissed away. I mean, that's really stupid. And so for a young person, a young woman or man, don't do that.
You know, it's funny. I don't agree with a lot of Kevin O'Leary's advice, but I do understand if you're starting out, yeah, if you have too much clothes, then yeah, why not? Sell some clothes or get rid of some clothes or give it a goodwill. I don't care because I'm not here to tell you what to do. That is not my job, and I'm not a financial advisor. So you do what you want to do. But some of the advice that he says or the things he says is usually to get clicks and make him hate him and to get him more viral. I know he got a lot of money. I know I was a big fan of him a couple years ago, but now the more I got to know him, I'm not really such a big fan of his. And if you are, that's good. I'm okay with that. But for me, I'm not. Comment down below. Are you a big Kevin O'Leary fan?
Types of broke people. You have those who have an income problem, which means that what they bring in from their job isn't enough or it's just enough to meet their basic living expenses. And then you have some people who are broke because they don't understand the difference between a need and a want. And if you need some clarification, hopefully this will help. A need would be affordable housing in a safe part of town. On the other hand, a luxury apartment in the trendiest part of town or the biggest house on the block is a want. Safe and reliable transportation to get you to work and around town is a need. An expensive luxury car with all the bells and whistles, a want. Basic clothing that's comfortable, need. A closet full of designer labels and luxury fashion, a want. A need is also buying food to cook at home. A want is dining out on top of that, especially if it's high-end dining. A basic cell phone for communication, need. Frequently upgrading to the newest model when your old one works just fine, want. Affordable practical furniture is a need, whereas designer home decor is a want. And for many of you, this might be obvious, but one thing that I have learned in nearly 2 decades of talking about money is that what's obvious to one person is not obvious to all. And not understanding the difference is how some people who earn decent money end up with nothing left to save or invest.
Yes, I agree with her. I think we've really focused on so much at once, and I get it. In the Western world, it's about buying new things, getting the new iPhone, getting the new sofa, getting the new TV, get the new this, get the new that. Even if my old phone is working better, they have trade-in deals for you to get a better phone. And sometimes we need to check and have a realization to ourselves and say, hey, maybe I don't need a new phone. Or maybe I don't need a new couch right now. There are always going to be new phones. There are always going to be new couches. There are always going to be new video games. But the basic wants and needs is, I believe, that everyone should focus on. Because at the end of the day, that's what you need. Yeah, you do need a cell phone today's times. You do need water. You do need food. But do you need to go out at Benihana's or Taco La Villa or what's that favorite restaurant? Ocean Prime, 5-star restaurant. That's more of a want, and we need to have a understanding of what we actually need and what we actually want.
I think that people who actually grew up broke, and not just feeling broke, but broke, don't usually make it like such a big part of their personality and brand when they're not as broke anymore. And while it's actually become a big joke now, but I felt broke, the sound trending and everything, I do think there is such a thing as that mindset staying with you. Because I don't know if you remember Anna at the TikTok Awards giving this answer that people thought was really in poor taste, and saying what she would do if she was really rich, but it's basically already her life. But I feel like, to me, that just shows that she still thinks that she is broke, but she isn't. Just in the same way that she did growing up, even though she acknowledges as well that, they weren't the most broke people in the world. But still, it's kind of like become just a big pillar, I want to say, in whenever she made a video. And I haven't watched all of her videos lately, but it'd be like, this is a really big deal that we're buying this nice car, or that we're going on this first class trip, because growing up we didn't have it. In the same way, though, like, I also grew up broke. Single mom, my mom never got her license. She never got like a traditional job. There were just a lot of things that I knew were going on that, we couldn't afford things that other people were affording, and that also made me feel broke. But I had this sense in my mind, even when I was young, that we had it good because of certain things that I really enjoyed. I got to spend a lot of time with my mom. Sometimes it sucked, sometimes it was nice. But also, she'd like make me meals that I really liked, and they weren't expensive. And I was like, wow, my classmates don't get to choose like what they have for dinner. And that made me feel so like spoiled, even though it wasn't like an expensive like money thing. And in the same way that I think people who didn't actually grow up broke, but like just focus on that, people who do grow up broke have this thing of highlighting, the things that were really amazing about their childhoods, or the things that made it special and made them not feel lacking despite the actual like lack, of material things or budget or holidays or other things that were sort of status symbols to kids. And I don't know where this quote is from, but I feel like maybe it's Oprah, the thing about if you're always focusing on what you don't have, you'll never have enough. But if you cherish what you do have, you'll feel like you have plenty. And that's such a, I feel like, societal thing, that we don't really appreciate what we do have. And as much as it's like the cheesy quotes of, everything you have now, you once wanted, it's so true. And it's such a mindset thing, whether you're broke or not. Besides, I'm not talking about, you actually can't afford rent and like the lights have been turned on and you're like behind on bills, where, many of us have been.
Right. And I actually agree with her. Wow, she really spoke a lot. Shout out to this lady. Yeah, she talked about her struggles with a single mom growing up, and that does affect you financially. And no matter what you're going through as an adult, no matter if you're a man or woman, being with a single woman, it's challenging. It really is. I know that's why I believe in a father and a mother household, but sometimes you may not have that, and you got to work with the best you can. And I'm glad this lady that she worked the best that she can. And really, financial freedom is about the mental part and fixing those habits and changing those bad habits of having money but acting broke, as she would say. Or I would say, as, oh, I make a lot of money, but I'm spending a lot of money trying to chase the Joneses, trying to have the Mercedes, trying to have the Gucci clothes, the Gucci belt, the nice suits, Versace and Prada. But at the end of the day, those things are luxuries, and we don't need to focus our money on those. I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with getting them. Yeah, go right ahead. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but at the end of the day, I am here to tell you, work on your mental health, fix your childhood trauma, love your mother, love your dad, because at the end of the day, they will appreciate you who you are at the end of the day. And if you like these videos, if you like me reacting, hit the like button and subscribe. And if you want to watch my next video, it's going to be up here.